evening, I'm Grace Brown in Hong Kong and welcome to ViuTV News. Coming up on tonight's show. The Hong Kong Bar Association questions the legality of the joint immigration plan. A Hong Kong-flagged ship is at the center of the global crisis over North Korea after it's accused of breaking international sanctions. And tensions could rise further as Donald Trump says he's been too soft on China over its relationship with Pyongyang. First up tonight, more backlash from Hong Kong's legal sector on China's approval of the Express Rail Link's joint checkpoint arrangement. The Hong Kong Bar Association says it undermines implementation of the Basic Law. In a statement, the association said the plan could breach Article 18. That says national laws should not be applied in the SAR in most circumstances. Beijing claims the decision is legal because only a part of the rail link's West Kowloon terminus will be given to mainland jurisdiction, not the whole of Hong Kong. But the association has voiced concerns about this reasoning. It says this could potentially open the door for mainland laws to be applied to specified departments in Hong Kong, including the High Court.
The decision of the Standing Committee of the NPC is based on nothing. What I'm saying is you can't find any article in Hong Kong law that would make this so-called decision, which is neither an interpretation nor an amendment of laws, legally binding.
A vice chairperson of the Basic Law Committee has defended Beijing's decision. Elsie Leung says the Bar Association clearly doesn't understand China's constitution. The former Justice Chief says the constitution empowers the Standing Committee of the NPC to supervise Hong Kong's basic law. She says the committee made sure the plan did not violate any laws before approving it. Pan-democratic lawmakers are demanding the government come up with alternatives for immigration affairs at the rail link's terminus, should there be any legal challenges in future. A Hong Kong-flagged ship has been seized by South Korea for allegedly breaching international sanctions by transferring oil to a North Korean vessel. The lighthouse Winmore is accused of moving refined petroleum products in international waters in October. That's according to Reuters. The vessel is one of the U.S. has proposed blacklisting at the UN as part of a clampdown on those trying to get around the sanctions. Well, that development comes as Donald Trump says he's been too soft on China over North Korean sanctions. In an interview with the New York Times, the U.S. president expressed his unhappiness that China has allowed oil shipments to Pyongyang to continue. It's an accusation Beijing denies. As Joel Flynn reports, the words are likely to raise tensions between the world's two largest economies.
Donald Trump's fractious relationship with Beijing is nothing new, but this latest accusation could make it even more testy. A tweet yesterday accused China of being caught red-handed, allowing oil to go into North Korea, apparently despite international sanctions against Pyongyang. That came shortly before the New York Times, usually a target of Trump's ire, published an interview with the president in which he said he's been too soft on Beijing. In it, he again criticized China's trade practices and its alleged intellectual property theft, worth an estimated $300 billion a year, he said. Not a problem, he added, though, so long as they were helping with North Korea. China has denied any sanctions breaking sales of oil to Pyongyang, referring to a South Korean report that Chinese and North Korean ships had been spotted linking up at sea. Washington says that without China's cooperation on sanctions, stopping Kim Jong-un's weapons programs won't be possible.
Trump also seems to be courting controversy at home after he tweeted that the country's eastern seaboard, which has been hit by record low temperatures, could use some good old global warming. The tweet comes as much of the East Coast continues to remain blanketed in snow. Among the state's worst hit is Pennsylvania, which has seen more than 50 inches of snow. Trump, however, took the opportunity to call attention to how much the U.S. would have had to invest in the Paris Agreement to fight climate change. China appears to be taking its environmental threats seriously. The country has revealed that more than 18,000 officials failed to protect the environment since 2016 and could face punishment. The announcement comes as part of a national crackdown on pollution in some of China's worst-hit cities. The crackdown targets most of the northern region, where companies in industrialized provinces faced huge fines for their actions. Coming up next, the latest from the world of business. Let's start with a quick look at how Hong Kong markets ended the last trading season of the year. The Hang Seng closed up about 0.5% at 29,1919 points, its highest since before the financial crisis of 2008. That leads it up 36% for this year, thanks to global optimism and heavy inflows from the mainland. That's helped make Hong Kong stocks one of the world's best performing assets of 2017. This year might be one to forget for Apple, though. The company has apologized and lowered the cost of replacement batteries for its iPhones after lawsuits and public condemnation over revelations it was deliberately slowing down its older products. Apple says it's slashing the price of battery changes from $79 to $29 for an iPhone 6 or later, starting next month. It's also going to amend its software updates to inform users of the health of their batteries and their phones' resulting performance. In a statement on its website, Apple acknowledged that some consumers felt let down. The move comes as reports suggest the company is cutting sales forecasts for the iPhone X, which starts at nearly $1,000 US. Further turmoil for Bitcoin in Asia. The cryptocurrency fell more than 10% after a new limit on speculation by South Korea's government. The tumble took other stocks down too, and worries are growing about its volatility following a series of drops in the last 2 weeks. Kira Lee has more.
Housewives and students, apparently among South Korea's biggest Bitcoin fans. Cryptocurrencies have proven popular in South Korea this year, prompting the government to take action. It's to impose additional measures to regulate speculation in trading. Prices of most virtual currencies have been much higher on South Korean exchanges than on exchanges in other countries.
First, opening new anonymous cryptocurrency accounts for virtual coin exchanges will be immediately banned. Second, providing anonymous accounts to new members of existing cryptocurrency exchanges will also be immediately banned.
The legislation will also allow regulators to close virtual coin exchanges if needed. South Korea had previously announced its plan to tax capital gains from cryptocurrency trading, to tackle what it sees as the risk of excessive speculation.
The government has warned several times that virtual coins cannot play a role as actual currency and could result in high losses due to excessive volatility.
Bitcoin, the world's biggest and best-known cryptocurrency, has gained more than 19-fold this year. But it's volatile. Just last week, it suffered its biggest decline since 2013, falling nearly 30%. While Bitcoin investors say that was just a natural correction, there have been further warnings from market regulators and central banks.
China says it's disappointed in the European Union's decision to launch an investigation into Beijing's exports of electronic bicycles. The European Commission is now formally looking into whether e-bike exporters are benefiting from excessive state subsidies. It's the latest in a string of probes into alleged unfair competition from China's exports, including things like solar panels and steel as well. Europe's Bike Maker Association wants import duties on China's e-bikes, sales of which made about $367 million in the first 9 months of this year. Beijing denies the accusations.
China's e-bike market is completely market-based and a fully competitive industry. The so-called government subsidies that the EU refers to is a misreading of China's relevant policies and a misinterpretation of World Trade Organization rules. It lacks factual basis and is groundless.
Well, today marked the last trading session before the new year, and 2018 looks like it's going to be a big one for Hong Kong's markets. Bankers are hoping for a raft of initial public offerings from Chinese tech companies. Compared to 2017, that could present a huge opportunity for the Hong Kong bourse. Ryan Brooks takes a look at why.
2018 may see a blockbuster turnaround for Hong Kong IPOs. Bankers in the city are feeling optimistic over a slew of Chinese tech firms set to debut over the next 2 years, totaling some $500 billion in market value. That's a stark contrast to 2017, the city's worst year for raising cash since the global financial crisis a decade ago. If Hong Kong lives up to the hype, Reuters' Jennifer Hughes says it may set up a showdown over the IPO crown.
We've got a big number of Chinese tech companies listing in the next couple of years, hopefully lots of them in 2018, and the chances are they're going to come to Hong Kong and they won't be going to list in New York. Hong Kong and New York are really big rivals in the IPO world. New York thinks it has everything because it gets Facebook and Google, Alibaba listed in New York. But Hong Kong is coming back and fighting back. If these tech companies, we're talking people like Xiaomi, the smartphone maker, and Lufax, the wealth management company, if they list in Hong Kong, and it's very possible that they will, that changes the balance because no longer will we have these big tech companies going to New York. They're going to list at home in Hong Kong.
Already there are signs things are picking up. On opening day, hot tech listing China Literature jumped up 80%, the biggest IPO pop anywhere in the world in 2017.
Okay, time for a short break, but when we return, we'll be looking at cheetahs. That's the cat, not the student, and how a technological breakthrough in Africa could help save the species from extinction.
On the road to becoming the best in the field, we pledge to revamp the world through television. We pave roads between humans and nature. We speak the same language. We build a tunnel to the other side of the world, reveal thought-provoking images that you can't look away.
Welcome to the ViuTV News Roundup.
ViuTV6. Connect the world. We are one. Provocative stories that have changed lives. Insightful interviews with notable figures from the worlds of news, politics, and entertainment. ViuTV6 brings you one of the most esteemed news magazines. ABC News 2020. Sunday night at 9:30 on ViuTV6. Finally, there is a TV program exclusively for dogs. And of course, for humans who love their furry friends. Scientifically developed, pup approved. The content is solely designed to appeal to man's best friend. Let your dog sit around TV and be stimulated and entertained by the exciting movements and objects. Or simply chill them out with soothing sounds and images.